Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes.
Hey guys, welcome back. Amber here with a Meeple family, and today I've got another 10 games to count down with you. Today we're going to be doing number 70 through 61. I'm excited to talk about these games, kind of highlighting how they play, how I like to play them, which is mainly solo. I'm not sure, just have to go through this list and see which ones are more family oriented and which ones I prefer to play either at my coffee table or just by myself. I will definitely break that down in the list, but if you haven't already, I would love for you to give this video a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe. I would love to have you hang out here with me every week. I do all kinds of videos. And if you haven't watched the other videos in this series, I will link them down in the description below, but let's get started. All right, first up is number 70, and this is Village Green. This is such a peaceful yet puzzly little game, and I love how it transforms a simple set of cards into this really satisfying spatial puzzle. I enjoy the balance of trying to optimize my village and laying it out correctly while also making sure I'm meeting the different award conditions that are both vertical and horizontal. Sometimes it feels like everything clicks into place, and other times it is a hilarious disaster. I'll just say that. It's definitely one of those games that I can play while sipping coffee and relaxing, but it still makes me feel like I'm getting a really good gameplay in, if you know what I mean. The theme is very charming in this game. The artwork is lovely, which adds a lot to the appeal and the aesthetic when I sit down and play. Like I said, this is a great coffee table solo experience that feels like a nice little brain teaser. All right, number 69 is the game Bark Avenue, and this game holds such a special place in my heart because it became part of my daughter's recovery journey. After 2 years of illness, this was one of the first games that we actually played all together at the table while she was still in her wheelchair, and it even became a motivator for her during physical therapy. Now she is out there walking our dogs like a pro, and I can't help but smile every time I think about how this game played a small role in her progress. Now, if that story doesn't make sense to you, let me explain the game. The game is all about being a dog walker in New York City, and I use that as motivation all the time with my daughter to encourage her to remember that she is going to be walking again and that she can take our dogs on walks. And you know, in the meantime, while she was bound to a wheelchair, it was really fun for her to play this game, and at that point she couldn't even remember what it felt like to walk, so it just kind of seemed like a dream at the time. So this was really, really exciting for her to play this game and then eventually graduate physical therapy, now walking our dogs. It's beautiful. Now, the reason we're all here, the gameplay. So the gameplay itself for Bark Avenue is really fantastic. It's a pick up and deliver game, which I really enjoy these games. It's like a growing to-do list and I love it. But in addition to being a pick up and deliver game, you're also having some contract fulfillment aspects in there as well. I think it really is a fun solo challenge. It's just all around a really solid game, and I do think they just launched a expansion for this game, which I haven't had the chance to try out, but I love this game. The components are high quality, the game board, the artwork. It's just such a solid game, and for me personally, I love that it comes with a meaningful memory attached to it. I will never look at Bark Avenue the same. It's always going to kind of have that core memory attached to it, which is why it is on my list. All right, number 68 is Viticulture. Specifically the Essential Edition. This to me is a timeless classic that makes me appreciate the art of winemaking, even though I don't drink. The way that the game flows, it feels so natural and intuitive, and it really captures the slow and steady process of growing grapes, aging them, and eventually making wine and then fulfilling orders. The worker placement mechanic within this game is smooth, and I love how strategic it can be, especially when playing solo. Every decision that you make feels really important, and it's satisfying to watch my vineyard grow. It's one of those games that I never seem to tire of, and it's always a joy to play when I have it out at the table, whether that's with a group or solo. All right, number 67 is the game Cellulose. This is a plant cell biology game. And at this point, I need to confess something to you. I'm a nerd and I love biology, so this game is right up my alley. It's such a fun and clever way to engage with plant cell biology, which is a sentence I never thought I would say. And I love how it makes scientific concepts feel accessible through gameplay. Now let's talk about the solo mode. The solo mode for this one really had me struggling. I felt like it was quite difficult to get the hang of. It's a lot of maintenance. But I understand what they were going for because they're really trying to emulate another player is playing the game with you. So I can appreciate that. I will just say the learning curve to learn the solo mode kind of wrecked my brain for a little bit until I got the hang of it and made sense of it, and then I was fine as is with most hurdles in games. Cellulose in general is this great mix of worker placement and resource management, and it's just challenging enough to keep me coming back. My kids love this one, so this is one I can play solo or with my kids. And I would say that if you're even remotely interested, which is probably a stretch, but remotely interested in biology, this one is definitely worth a play. And the publishers of this are Genius Games, and they have another one out. I'll put the name down here in the video because my brain is blanking, that I really want to try out, and I've heard really good things about the solo mode, but it's so pricey. Their games are quite pricey, but I do feel like they're definitely worth it for what you get. You're gonna get high quality components, you are going to get a really great gaming experience, gaming package. I do believe I have another one of their games on my list later on. But yeah, Cellulose is one I really, really do enjoy and I love. All right, we are already at number 66, and this is the game Watergate. This is easily one of my absolute favorite two-player games, and I do have a playthrough or at least a tutorial on my channel. Yes, it's a few years old, but it is so good. This game is fantastic. I love the theme. It's this tug of war between the Nixon administration and the journalist, and it's just really well done. I love how every card feels like it holds weight and the decisions are intense. Like, every decision you make counts. As the journalist, you're constantly trying to uncover connections, while as Nixon, obviously you're working to cover them back up. It's such a simple premise, but it's executed brilliantly in this two-player game. It's one of these games where I just feel like every play, it feels like a real battle. I definitely feel immersed in the storyline of like whoever I'm playing, whether it's the journalist or Nixon administration, and I just love it. I love playing it. It is so fun. I love the components. I love how it looks on the table. I love the historic elements to it. Great game, highly recommend. Number 65 is Terraforming Mars, specifically the Ares expedition. I have never played the full box of Transforming Mars. I've only played this particular version because I just found it to be a lot more accessible. Now, I've talked about this way back on my channel, and yeah, this game is still hanging in there and it's still on my list. There's just something about the combination of like the engine building and the theme that just keeps me hooked on this game. I absolutely love it. I love seeing my tableau of cards grow and how they interact with each other to create these awesome chain reactions. I personally feel like the solo mode is really done well, and I enjoy the challenge of trying to terraform Mars as efficiently as possible, as quickly as possible. It's just got that right mix of strategy and fun, and every time I play, because there's so many cards, like every time I play it feels a little bit different. I haven't really hit a wall yet where it feels redundant and like, you know, it's just the base game alone, and it definitely is one that I enjoy soloing out. And I also like to play this with some of my older kids. They also enjoy this one as well. All right, number 64 is the Quacks of Quedlinburg. And this is no expansions, this is just the base game. And I can tell you that this is a forever family favorite. And after painstakingly putting coin capsules on every token, there is absolutely no way that this game is going anywhere ever. Yes, I actually did that. I coin capsuled every single token because I was too cheap to buy the upgraded bits. So that is who I am. So with this game, the push your luck aspect is so addictive. At least it is for me. I explode all the time. I don't even care. It's so fun. And even though the potion abilities can be a bit overwhelming for new players, like learning all the nuances of it, once you get the hang of it, it's such a blast. I love the tension of pulling tokens from the bag and hoping I don't bust. It's always a mix of excitement and dread and fear. It's a game that just brings a lot of laughter to our personal table, and I adore it. I think it's great. All right, number 63 is New York Zoo. Now, let me just tell you that Uwe Rosenberg is one of my absolute all-time favorite game designers, and he never fails me. Maybe a few, but I won't talk about those right now. But regardless, New York Zoo is no exception. The combination of polyomino placement, animal breeding, it's just such a unique mix, and I love how everything kind of ties together thematically. Obviously the meeples are stinking adorable, and I always enjoy figuring out the most efficient way to fit into my zoo, like all of the pieces, all of the animals, make sure they're multiplying at the right time. It's just a really fun puzzle with just enough tension to keep me engaged and enough thoughtful turns that I really enjoy that. I do like the solo mode, And I prefer to play that way because I can get a little lost in the downtime of my turns on what I want to do. So I like the continuity of playing solo. It's not my favorite solo mode because it's more like turn-based and you want to like get as far as you can in a certain amount of turns, and I don't enjoy that as much as I do the multiplayer experience. Neither here nor there. This is one my kids can play. Can be a little bit fiddly. There are some messy things about it, but overall it is a game I love, and I even played recently on BGA and I actually thought it works pretty well on there as well. All right, I'm trying to make these videos pretty quick and bullet pointed because I'm assuming that most of you are familiar with these games. So hopefully this is working for you guys, but we are almost halfway there and I cannot believe it. And number 62 is Dorfromantik, the board game. So Dorfromantik, the board game is, I think, the epitome of this cozy and relaxing experience, especially when you're in the hobby. And I absolutely love like the achievement tracker. I've told you guys that before in games. Like I love the checklist. It keeps me coming back for more and more, and I want the content and I want the campaign. It is really fun. It feels like a slow building puzzle where each tile placement really matters. Watching the landscape unfold is also really satisfying. I really enjoy the campaign style and just how it works to unlock and add this nice layer of progression, and I always feel excited to see like what new elements I'm gonna unlock and add, and also trying to reach certain goals so that I can move on further into the campaign. I love it. For me, this is the perfect game for when I want something chill but still engaging, and you know, maybe I've been playing a lot lately. I just kind of want this like easy decision space. That is really what I get from Dorfromantik. I have not tried the expansion. This is just the base game. And for me, this is a coffee table game at heart, like one I can get out. There can be stuff going on around me and I can still enjoy the puzzle while still engaging with what's going on in the room, whether that's a show or a conversation. I like that this one isn't so intense that I lose my place. I like that I can walk away from it and come back and still, you know, as a mom and just being really busy all the time, getting pulled away from my games. This is one that's really nice because yeah, I can get up, walk, you know, go do dishes, change the laundry, come back, and I can pick right up where I left off without feeling like I am messing up the AI or, you know, messing up something or missing something. I really, really like that one. And that is why it is number 62 on my list. All right, number 61 is kind of a new genre for me, and that is Rogue Dungeon. I am a huge fan, come to find out, of dungeon crawlers. These are so fun. This one is my new forever favorite. If you guys have not heard of this game, there are cards that create layers of the dungeon, making every time you encounter and work your way through the dungeon just like full of surprises. There's something so immersive about the way you navigate through different encounters, and I never get tired of trying out like new character combinations, different skill sets. To me, it feels like it has endless replayability, and even though there is an app for this game, as a board game lover, I still love the tactile experience of playing it on the table. For me, it's an absolute must if you're a solo gamer who obviously loves dungeon crawlers and loves this theme. Basically, the way that this works is you're gonna have these different cards that kind of are showing layers of the dungeon that you're working through, and there's all these different encounters that have different colored symbols on them so that you know like which encounter cards to flip over. It's a really ingenious yet simple mechanic that they've built into this game, but it offers so much versatility and variety. The designers, I think, did a great job. I enjoy most of the artwork on it. Some of it's like not my cup of tea, but I really do enjoy this game overall. Great game. Check it out if you love solo play and dungeon crawlers. Well, that wraps up another 10 on my list, counting down here. So join me next week. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe, give this video a like. That gives me so much encouragement here at the channel. Comment down below. Let me know if any of these are on your list, or if you are just hearing about some of them for the first time and would like a deeper dive on any of them. I would be happy to do that. Just let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you guys next week.
You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high, even if the sky is falling down.